Hello, America. Today we are at the Titanic Museum in Polo, Illinois, and today we are going to explore the northern Atlantic Ocean seafloor. Let's kick it. Today you're going to see two very important pieces related to the Titanic. One of them is a vehicle and the other one is a violin with a beautiful love story behind it. He's taller than I remember. That's about 5 foot. Now, I'm about to strike a pose that every woman in America has dreamed of. And here it is. I feel so beautiful. This is an 1886 Benz motor car, the very first motor car ever developed. Somebody must have left it here because it's got nothing to do with the Titanic. And this is a maternity dress, a two-piece maternity dress that would have been worn most likely by someone in first class. Today's presentation is a tribute to the tragedy of the Titanic that sank April 15th, 1912. This is a Model T Ford, and it's from the first year of production, 1908. This is a tribute to many of the people who passed on the Titanic. Ironically, many of the people who passed on the Titanic were bankers and powerful Americans, specifically people who would have opposed a national income tax. Yet the following year, 1913, 2% income tax was invoked over the people. The 16th Amendment, the First Amendment to protect the government and not the people. I believe the museum, or the owner of this vehicle that lent it, the museum paid $1.2 million for this vehicle. Before the Titanic set sail, there were only two of these vehicles on this earth. One was owned by William Carter and his wife, a 36-year-old millionaire. The other one is right before you. Williams is sitting at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean right now, turning into dust. The good news is that William Carter and his bride survived the Titanic. Now, here is the deck of the Titanic, painstakingly recreated. But on that cold night of April 15th, 1912, there's one thing missing: a key. That key was in the pocket of Second Officer David Blair, who, ironically and curiously, was taken off the ship right before it sailed with that key in his pocket. That key opened a cupboard that allowed them to grab the binoculars to look for icebergs. That key went for auction at $140,000, and it's probably worth a lot more today. Because this violin is missing a specific crack, I do not think it is the original. But nonetheless, it is said to belong to the band leader, Wallace Hartley. And although Wallace passed away on the ship, the violin was recovered and returned to his fiancée, who gave it to him as a gift. The violin, in unplayable condition, sold for over $1 million at auction. The safety of the Titanic was boasted so much because the hull had several compartments in case the ship did get torn open. It would survive because water would be isolated to that compartment. One of the most crucial F around and find out moments on the Titanic was when they removed 44 lifeboats because they obscured the view of the first class passengers. Murphy's Law, y'all. Murphy's Law. This is a 115-year-old Steinway grand piano, player piano. As a matter of fact, it's the same model that was on the Titanic, and would have played at dinner time while first-class passengers enjoyed their 10-course meal. This is a demonstration of the ship deck sloping as the hull took on water. At 1:50 a.m. on tax day, the ship was at a 15-degree slope because of the water coming into the hull. 15 minutes later, it has sloped 1 degree per minute, and it is now at 30 degrees. I can't even stand on this deck. And although you're pretty much blocked from trying to get up on the third deck, this deck is sloped at 45 degrees at just 15 minutes later. And it looks like they put a chain across because dumb people kept falling and hitting their face. So how cold was the water that night? Well, this water is 28 degrees, which is below freezing, isn't it? And I can't keep my finger in there for very long. These people were immersed completely head to toe in the ocean, and that is some freezing water. One of the most abundant items that was salvaged from the Titanic was the dinnerware, and each class had very different dinnerware. As you can see here, first class enjoyed 2 different designs. I'm sure one for dinner, one for earlier in the day, maybe for tea. I don't know. I'm not a tea guy, but second class was. They clearly have some beautiful chinaware that they were served for their meal. Third class, not so much. Plain white china with a stamp embossing the Ocean Liner Corporation's insignia. Just like a Holiday Inn towel. From the 80s and 70s and 60s where it just said green Holiday Inn real far across. So you wouldn't steal it, but you did because it was like the coolest memento souvenir. Now, the last time I played with one of these, I turned into an 8-year-old boy. Oh, wait, no, that was Tom Hanks. I get my memories mixed up sometimes. Let's play. This game predicts my Titanic fate. Did I live or die? Okay, my Titanic fate is I did survive. My name was Violet Jessup. I was a crew member, age 24. It also says I survived 2 other ship disasters. Don't date this chick. She's dangerous. Now, this is just plain creepy. I don't know why it's in here. It looks evil to me. So if you're thinking what I'm thinking, it's kind of curious that this ship set sail on April 15th, which would one day become the tax day for the United States, and people that died on the ship would have a lot to do with deciding whether Americans paid taxes or not. Strange. Or is it? Coincidence or not?